Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hello. Dr. Michelle Mandy joining us live today on the Zoom on our podcast. Excited to have you back. For those new time listeners, Dr. Michelle, tell us a little about you, the work you do, and we'll get in today's topic whenever you're ready.
All right. I am Dr. Michelle Mandy. I am been a nurse for over 40 years, retired military veteran, and I recently have opened up a business called Nurses Recommend and Coaching, along with my daughter, Paris Mandy, who's a psychiatric nurse practitioner in Arizona.
Beautiful. I know we got to talk a lot about her and her service and all she does, just like
Yes.
Mama. Tell us the website we can find you both.
Yes, the website is ownyourpathwellness.com. And you can reach us at a phone number 623-401-5030 or either 210-880-1290.
Beautiful. Well,
you can
thank you.
email at pariscmandy@gmail.com.
Perfect, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Great to have you back here for today. What did you want to talk about? I mean, the work you both do is incredible. Do we want to focus on her, on you? Joint venture? What do we have for today?
Yes. Well, today I would joint venture to show you how things move along. So with, Nurses Recommend and Coaching, we just embarked on publishing a book.
Yay, congratulations.
I know. Up to it's on Amazon. It's in review right now on Amazon, being released in paperback and ebook.
What is the title? Show us.
It's called Health, Advocacy, and Social Policy. That's it. Let me see if I can. Can you see that? Oh, no, it's not coming up very well.
There it is. I see it.
There it is.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow. How long of a journey was that to come into fruition? How long did it take to write?
Well, I wrote it during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, when everything went awry, so we had to learn what we can do and what we didn't know. So being a part of a nursing organization, I was the national chair of health advocacy and social policy. So they requested information on our take on the vaccine and how we can engage people to get the vaccine. So I got to speak to Congress, and I had to create all this information from scratch to come up with stuff right away. So all of the information I did during the pandemic to get our organization, nursing organization, on board, getting out there, help with the vaccine, and speaking to Congress on how they can do it, I put it all in a book format, in a sense. So anyone else who followed me would know how to do this kind of thing, to write policies, to write resolutions, how to write those letters and stuff like that, the templates. I created from scratch. So I made that during that time, during the pandemic. And so now today, when I face this 7-day challenge on writing a book, I decided to take that a level and turn it into a book.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did it within the 7 days. It was a 7-day challenge course that I took.
Amazing. Congratulations.
So I just took the knowledge that I have and put it out there for everybody else to be able to use. So, and it's based up under Nurses Recommend and Coaching. So from the business, that's where that book generated. Yes. So you would see, along with, that's why coaching is important. For people, like I said, I focus on nurses a lot. Because of the burnout during the pandemic, nurses had no ways to really speak about what they went through. So they need a safe place to talk. And once they get that all off their system and realize it's okay, they feel better, and it releases the space in their brain for other things. And that's how the system works, in a sense, for coaching.
And you've been, hold on, I know, just give us a little bit of background for the new time listeners about your background. It's important to note the amount of experience you have.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
So
yes,
over,
for
oh,
sure.
yes,
Yes.
over, 40 years of nursing in
Wow.
critical care, emergency room, labor and delivery, case management. I'm also a legal nurse consultant and 20 years in the military in the United States Air Force.
Wow.
Yeah, as a nurse, I was in charge of what they call a nurse of education. And that's how I got started into all of this and why it's a good thing for people. And that's why I started to care so much.
Mm.
Because as a officer in the Air Force, you must take care of your people.
Yeah.
So I saw my people were having problems. So I decided I needed to life coach, in a sense, my people so that they could do the jobs that they needed to do.
Oh,
So I started it in the military.
yep.
And then once I got out, I'm now decided to create it as a business with my daughter.
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And just a little bit about your daughter that they may not know as well. Tell us a little.
Yes, my daughter, Mandy, she kind of joined the same nursing organ. She became a nurse, but first she was a licensed therapist. And she worked crisis management where she would go out to the homes with the police and people who had issues. So she would be the site person that would go out.
Mhm.
And then she became a nurse, got a couple of extra masters, and now she decided to be a psych nurse practitioner. So she's a psych nurse practitioner and she's a licensed therapy. So she can give medications as well as behavior modification when she's taking care of people.
Oh,
Yes, and she
beautiful.
does from children all the way through adults. So she does ketamine therapy. She works with kids with ADHD. She does it all. And she's also in the Air Force Reserves.
Amazing, talented. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. Ah,
And she loves people. She loves what she does, and I love what I do. And that's why we work really well together. I mean,
hmm.
she was that therapist for me when I needed during all that time coming through the Air Force and working through the pandemic. We bounced off each other.
Oh my goodness. And so tell me the type of work you're doing now. I know you're also traveling. You're helping corporations, you're helping individuals, but also huge
Mm-hmm.
corporations you're speaking at, right?
Oh, yes. So I go out to a lot of, different nursing organizations and I'll speak on the stage and I do a lot with the corporations and thing in regards to healthcare incivility because a lot of workplace violence, it's rapid in the healthcare industry. And we need some people to get out there and help with it. And that's what I do. I speak on that. I do workshops on it. And I'm doing a great thing. I have done some webinars lately for the YWCA for their
Mm-hmm.
what they call community health workers, CHWs. They want to put them on the line more
Yep.
so to help out, especially, hey, the pandemic is helping, but you know what? COVID is on the rise again.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's time to get back to the front line. So we're working hard again to remind people it's still there.
Can I just ask about the vaccinations? I only had the beginning vaccinations and then I stopped. How,
Okay.
are they offering one every year, every 6? What is the recommendation these days with the COVID vaccine? And
Well,
I can only
there was
imagine how many
a
they
newer
have.
one came out, what was it, earlier this year? A new one. So that should be the one. If you haven't gotten all the others, get that vaccine. Get that one. So that's an updated one. Go ahead and get the most updated of that vaccine. Because there's a different little bit of a strain that's going on with this COVID that's out there right now to be
Thank you for
covered.
that.
So
Okay,
yeah, so that's
interesting.
our recommendation. Get that vaccine.
Oh my
I've gotten
gosh.
it. Nothing happened. I mean, I try to get things right at the beginning because, hey, I'm a nurse and I believe in science.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. All right. Well, thank you for that. And, for your show today, Dr. Michelle Mandy, we still have 10 minutes left in the show. What area of focus did you want to address for everyone today?
Well, I want everyone to know about also the healthcare navigation that we do,
Mm-hmm.
where that's, a lot of times people have their family members that live far away and they're elderly. and they go to the doctor, and the first thing when you as a family member, you ask them, what did the doctor say? The doctor will say, they'll say the doctor said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you help them being so far away, your senior family member or anyone? So what
Mm-hmm.
we do, I decided, how about we go into the room with them, go
Yeah.
into that exam room with them. And I created this business. Part of our business is where we can be on the phone. As nurses, we can be on the phone as an advocate for you, the family member. We listen to the doctor, what they're saying to you. And
Yeah.
then we can also interpret it to you down in layman's terms so you'll understand. And then if you had questions that was burning that you wanted answers to, but you forget when you're inside that clinical exam room, because a lot of people get that white coat syndrome. So we will speak for you. These are the questions that they wanted to make sure that they had answered today. Then once that elder, you come out of there, and then a family member who that they want us to give this information to, we can. So now you being so far away in a different state, you can help out that senior family member get a better quality of care. Because now we can relay to you what that doctor said about your family member,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
allows you to be far away, help your senior family member who's here, because people are living longer.
Yeah.
Women are living up into their 80s, 90s, and out walking, living, driving their own cars. It's happening. These seniors
Yeah.
are still active.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, but still they're far away and they don't want to come where you are and live there. So this business helps with that. And I tell you, it's a wonderful thing because I had to do it for my mother.
Oh.
She lived in a whole nother different state. I'm in San Antonio. She's in Michigan. And when all I kept getting was the doctor said nothing, I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
when I developed this
Yep.
process. And the doctors welcomed it. And that was the good thing. Sometimes you thought the doctors would be afraid, but they want to know what's going on with the patient because the patient won't even tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Like my legs have been swelling or something like that, which is important.
Yeah. Wow.
So this part of the business helps with that. And it's nurses that go into what I call go into the exam room with your family member.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, this is, I don't know, you're big with patient advocacy, obviously, like the book and all. And I didn't realize how important this all was until my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And unfortunately, she passed. But this was 2016. She was diagnosed. She passed a year and a half later. Being at
Yes.
the hospital, and everyone was so kind and sweet, but nobody gave us the answers. And they're doctors, they're nurses. They have to come in the room, do their thing. They have
Yes.
schedules and we're asking questions. And then I found about the patient advocacy down the hall, and I'm like, oh my
Yes.
gosh. So then you start talking to them, then they relay the messages to the upper people. It was like, wow, I got
Wow.
goosebumps. I'm like, this is so nice because now people are putting it in layman's terms, really explaining it to us. And I never
Right.
realized the importance of advocating for someone. And yeah, wow.
Yeah. And what you may not also know is that when we're in the position of caring for you in the hospital
Hmm.
and the doctors there too, the
Yeah,
nurses are by license not allowed to tell you certain things.
got it. Yep.
They can't tell you,
Yeah.
only the doctor could tell you. So if
Yeah.
the doctor doesn't tell you, they got to keep their mouth shut.
Hmm.
So you don't get the information. But as a nurse advocate, that nurse can tell you everything that's going on. That doctor can tell you everything that's going on. And then you, as an advocate, you can share that to the family members.
Got it. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yes. And then a lot of times when you're in the hospital and you ask all those questions, then the nurses and doctors get upset because you're asking too many questions. Then they don't want to come back in the room.
Why is that? I mean, wow. You
Yeah.
weren't that type of nurse, were you?
Oh, no, I wasn't that
You would
type of
always
nurse.
give answers. You would always
I would always
what you
give
could
answers.
do.
I
Oh.
would always give answers. I would stay within the license code, but boy, you talking about I would give answers. So I
Hmm.
would stay there in that room until all the questions are answered for the family members. I would not run out and say, I'll be back. And I never would say that they're asking too many questions, so I'm not going back in. Usually, when people say that kind of thing, they don't
Yeah.
feel confident in themselves.
Interesting, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it is.
And
That's
feel
what
that
it
you might
is.
ask them a question that they can't answer.
Yeah,
Like, why are you giving this medication? And they don't even know why they're giving their medication.
got it. Wow.
Yes. So there you have it. So when you have a nurse advocate, you got someone that's going to speak for you, interpret all that things for you, leave it clear. What a wonderful service.
And take the time to actually explain it to you and be
Yes.
honest with you, whether it's good news or
Yes.
bad news or whatever. But that's so important
Exactly.
because people need answers. And I also believe, I don't know, let me just ask you this random question, but it's about when my mom was diagnosed with, she was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell lung cancer. The
Mhm.
doctor kept telling her she's going to be fine. She's going to beat this. I knew
Yes.
nothing. I Google. No one
Yes.
with stage 4 small cell lung cancer is going to survive. So
Yes.
I'm like, why is he telling her this? And then I talked to someone else in the family who worked at the cancer registry in oncology at a hospital. She's like, she's not going to live. I'm like, but why is her doctor giving her false hope and telling her? And my mom's like, I'm going
Yes.
to be fine. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, you're
Yes.
dying. I hate to be, but like as a doctor, do you have the obligation to tell the person the chances of survival, or they want to sugarcoat it to make them feel better? I don't know the policy on that. I prefer
But the
truth.
policy is that they're supposed to tell them the truth,
Yes. Okay, good.
but you get some, it's hard for them to tell the truth. So they always say a positive, you're going to be fine.
Ah,
When
I
they
don't like
know
that.
that you're not. And then you have some that say that you're going to be fine because they want to do more tests on you. They want to do more surgeries on you.
Yeah,
And that is for money.
that's so sad. That's so sad. Yep.
Yes. There you go.
And even our doctor, again, talk about patient advocacy. These are things I didn't know. But at the moment you're diagnosed with that stage 4, because it was in her lung, it was in her was it kidney or her pen some
Pancreas
other
or something like
something was
that.
in her organ. But they said they did the radiation, they did whatever they could, and then no one told us, and everyone else is like, the doctor should have told you right away when you're diagnosed. The chances of that cancer going to your brain is high. You should be proactive to keep her alive
Yes.
a little longer and
Yes.
irradiate the brain. No one told us. 3 months
Yes.
later, and now it's in her brain, and we're like, what? He's like, oh, and he mentioned in the future, maybe, da, 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 but never was proactive to give it to her at that moment. Then she had it, but it was already too late. It was there.
It was
But then
already
to
too
give her
late.
an extra few weeks, like that's information that my friend said he should have told you that.
That's right.
Okay,
And
it's
let
gonna
you
go
make the
here.
choice.
Yeah,
And let
exactly.
you make the choice. And that's the thing. The patient
Hmm.
has the right to make the choice and they need to know.
Yeah,
And when you know you're dying, you can prepare things for death,
yeah.
right? It's
Hmm.
okay. Prepare the family, whatever things you need to do while
Yeah,
you have this time living.
yeah. Ah, gosh. So
Yeah.
I commend you for helping so many people. I've been in the situation on the other side, confused,
Yes.
feeling helpless, feeling vulnerable, feeling uncared about. Like, so, I mean, I
Yes.
commend you on really all that you do. Fascinating.
Yes. So that's why that part of the business came about. Because I lived through it too, just like you lived through
Yeah.
it. And I guarantee everyone will experience that. It's
Hmm.
inevitable. Everybody will enter the healthcare system.
It is. It is. Well,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we are out of time. How did you want to leave off for today?
Okay, I want to remind you again, the website is ownyourpathwellness.com. Our phone number is 623-401-5030. And or either 210-880-1290. And paracmandy@gmail.com is the email. And soon on Amazon, the Health Advocacy and Social Policy Toolkit would be out there and it will be on ebook and paperback
Aw, great. Well,
by Dr.
congratulations
Michelle
on.
Mandy.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you here and looking forward to the next time we connect, Dr. Michelle. Thanks so much and
All right.
enjoy your week, okay? And Labor Day. Are we back next
Yes,
week?
it is Labor
Wait, next
Day.
week is Labor Day. Does that mean
Next
we are
Monday
we
is Labor Day.
does that mean we're off? Does that mean
We're
we
off.
get? We're okay. I didn't know.
We're off Labor Day.
All right. I'll see you soon then. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Okay.
You too.
Bye, honey. Thank you so much.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.